We need to see it this way, that singles are what lures people in. Much like that sample of the chicken or tofu at the Chinese food stall that they give out for free in the mall courtyard, they hope to lure you in at the counter and for you to then buy a pound of it. And then they hope you'll keep coming back. And doing that each day after you've tasted how good it tastes from that one free sample is the real goal here. And we have to see albums and singles as two different things. Singles offer the opportunity to bring in enough people that they're going to go through your album or back catalog and actually get to know you and develop a relationship with your music. And right now, algorithms only spread singles, not albums, so that's what you have to deal with. Because the way Spotify is designed and people's attention spans work in a similar way, it's that the more singles you release of quality material, the more chances people will have to take in your album and back catalog. So let's go over this. The top way people discover music are now TikTok, Spotify, and YouTube. But before we get to TikTok, we're much more concerned about where people are going to repeatedly listen to your music and make a relationship with you, which is YouTube and Spotify. Because when it comes to streaming audio platforms and listening to music without video, if you open the majority of artists' analytics of where their listens come from, and I'm paid to look at this more than just about anyone on earth, if we bar YouTube, it's usually 80 to 85% Spotify where these streams come from. And then the other 15 to 20% is distributed between Apple and all the other DSPs. So like it or not, Spotify is where you really need to focus your energy. And luckily for you, they give artists tons of tools to promote themselves, whereas all the other DSPs give you virtually none. And because Spotify only lets you submit one song at a time to its editorial playlist submission tool, and they recommend you submit 4 weeks in advance, this means releasing singles more than once a month is a wasted opportunity. And while I hear a lot of people clowning Spotify editorial playlists as being over, if you read as much data as I do, I see over and over again this is a common ingredient in the musicians who blow up, as well as the key first ingredient in how an artist starts to break. It's still one of your greatest chances to have your music discovered by a lot of people is through editorial placements on Spotify. So you're basically failing yourself if you don't follow Spotify's guidelines and give that song a chance. But let's also keep in mind, it takes weeks for some songs to spread on TikTok. So pushing out different songs constantly doesn't benefit you, since you need to be concentrating on drilling an earworm into people's ears, since we're in what I call right now the earworm era of music promotion. And while editorial playlists are the biggest ones, we have to remember Spotify puts the artists who get on user playlists on their editorial playlists. So it's important that after your song is released, you then pitch it to other playlists. But there's an important part of the Spotify game to keep in mind, and that's trying to get into the algorithm. So you get on Discover Weekly and Release Radar.